It really shows you what you're made of deep inside. And I was going to keep firing it no matter what. I mean, I didn't want to throw any more picks, but as I was throwing them, I was going to keep firing the ball. You can't play with fear. I didn't play as clean as I wanted to, but I know that knowing me, knowing this team, that we're going to learn from and move forward. There's a lot of great stuff to learn from this game. It's an emotional game. It's not fun playing the way I did. It really hurt us tonight, but I know that I can improve and I will improve.
CC, this is just the preseason, but how concerning was Foles' struggles last night?
And not concerned. That's why Nick Foles is not a starter, because he's not consistent. You guys asked me last year in the last quarter of the season, Nick Foles, man, you guys worry? This is who Nick Foles is. Backup quarterbacks, they're not as consistent. They don't throw the ball as much. They don't make as good of decisions. They will turn the ball over. They are prone to interceptions in bundles. That's who Nick Foles is. Nick Foles caught fire NFC Championship game against the Vikings. Great crowd support. Man, he had some receivers make some plays. He made some throws. And in the Super Bowl, where he dueled with Tom Brady. But Nick Foles was not great last season. Let's not forget what really happened. So, no, I wouldn't be surprised. But I do like Nick Foles' attitude that he realized this team, needs to support the quarterback, and he can win even though he doesn't play great. And I like the fact that, because he wouldn't have been this way early in his career. I was getting ready to throw it. I'm going to throw it. I don't know if they're going to catch it, but I didn't want to throw another pick. But I like that part, because that's the part, because he knows that his players and the coaching staff, they have confidence. Most backups, they don't have confidence in them. So Nick Foles, no, I wasn't alarmed. No, I wasn't. I didn't leave the game disappointed. Did he make a couple mistakes with the football I don't want my veteran quarterback to make? Yes. But this is the way backup quarterbacks, and this is the way Nick Foles will play. If he was the starter for Philadelphia, you can get used to 5 or 6 games just like this.
This is what I thought I was going to see when I said the Eagles can't win the Super Bowl. When Carson Wentz got knocked out, I thought they had a typical backup quarterback. I thought Nick Foles was going to be the guy he had been the last few years. And you can't beat good teams with quarterback play like that. They had a very, I don't want to say fortunate, they had a great defensive game in their first playoff game when Nick Foles didn't play this poorly, but played really poorly. And then what you're saying is absolutely right. Like, we saw the moment it happened when he caught Alshon Jeffrey down the sideline in the NFC Championship game. And from that moment forward until he's hoisting the Super Bowl trophy, he played 7 quarters of football, unlike anything we'd seen from him. People say, oh, what about that 27 touchdown, 2 interception? No. It wasn't those types of throws. That was a Chip Kelly offense.
Yep.
It was very different than, it was an out-of-body experience for Nick Foles. Now, what impact does it have? It has an impact to me on a few things. One is, I don't think you can help but be less optimistic about the Eagles' chances in Week 1 if Wentz isn't ready, because Nick Foles has not yet played well at any point in this preseason. Like, he got dinged and we thought he had a broken collarbone. Turned out he didn't. But the last game Nick Foles played well in was the Super Bowl. The other thing it does is, we've talked about if there's a quarterback injury, who's getting the phone calls. Well, I think the Jets will get phone calls for Teddy. The Colts might get phone calls for Jacoby Brissett. I think the Nick Foles trade market has cooled substantially for a team if there's a quarterback injury based on where he was after the Super Bowl, where he is right now. But I maybe erroneously thought that Nick Foles had recaptured something. When you play that well on that stage, I think being confidence is a huge part of being a pro athlete. Nothing could imbue you with more confidence than winning Super Bowl MVP, out-dueling Tom Brady. But he went right back to
we've seen a lot of Super Bowl MVPs like Nick Foles who went right back to being normal.
Not at the quarterback position, though. You're right. We've seen Larry Brown. We've seen a lot of guys that were outlier MVPs on either defensive players. I totally agree. But we've never seen quite this situation where it's the quarterback where he is out-dueling the greatest of all time. He's, I
don't know if he out-dueled Tom Brady. Tom did throw for 500.
Okay, so you're right. He won it. He was eye-to-eye with Tom Brady in that football game.
Yes.
And so you're right. Brady played great. But where Foles played that well on that stage against that opponent, and then in the preseason, and we can't, by the way, say, oh, well, the Eagles didn't have all their guys. Like, Vaitai didn't play well in that game. Myles Garrett ate his lunch. But Nick Foles, every game Nick Foles played last year was with Vaitai. Like, the Eagles did what they did with backup players last season.
Were you concerned at all with the way the Eagles played and have been playing in the preseason?
I'm not concerned because their overall depth. They got a lot of good players. and their best player is not playing yet. Alshon Jeffries will also be added to that. So you add Carson Wentz, Alshon Jeffries to Jason Peters, left tackle. Oh shoot, you've added some ball players. Like, no, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. I don't get concerned with veteran teams that struggle in the preseason because they're trying to accomplish a number of different things that younger teams aren't. Nick Foles has not looked well. Vaitai, left tackle, right tackle, has not looked well. So they've had some players in particularly that have not looked well. But I believe that the Eagles will be ready week number 1 against the Falcons.
The concerning thing for the Eagles for the first 2 weeks of the preseason was the defense looked really shoddy. They allowed 31 points in the first preseason game. The Patriots scored 100 on them. Yesterday, the defense looked like the Super Bowl defense, but they, of course, offensively did the least you can do in a football game. They got shut out, and they got shut out by the Browns, and we don't think the Browns' strength is going to be the defense. To me, the most instructive part of yesterday's game was, and it wasn't just Nick Foles, but it was how much, I'm going to keep mentioning this player's name today, how much a great D-end can wreck a game plan. Myles Garrett was all over the backfield, and Vaitai could do nothing with him. Now, Jason Peters is 37 years old, coming off a torn ACL. He's also one of the great left tackles in this league. And so is there some concern that if Jason Peters, either age or injury, that the Eagles don't have? We were talking about what teams have great backup offensive linemen. We thought the Eagles had a very quality swing tackle. I am less confident in that today than I was yesterday. So that part is at least moderately concerning to me as well.
All right, we'll take a break. Coming up, did Hugh Jackson make a mistake putting Tyrod